The following is a presentation of The Day.
Welcome to Alumni Gym on the campus of Norwich Free Academy, where this evening a game day first, known as a Canestrari Special. This is the first ever boys volleyball contest done live on game day as the Putnam Clippers come to Norwich Free Academy to take on the home Wildcats. All the action live on game day. Casey O'Neill along with Madison Canestrari. And Madison, it is your suggestion that we do boys volleyball that has put us here up in the crow's nest, with the heat rising on this beautiful day. But welcome, thank you back again. And so for the folks at home, this is our first time having a chance to do boys volleyball. What are a couple of the differences that we should expect compared to the girls volleyball, which of course we've become very familiar with?
Well, boys volleyball isn't as popular. I mean, you see that girls volleyball is still a growing sport, and here you don't really have as many people playing until they come to high school. We were talking about it before the game started, that the coach had mentioned that sometimes it's like they've never even touched a volleyball and it's their first time touching, but they want to play. So a lot of miscommunications. It might be a little bit slower than the girls that we see playing because they're playing year-round, but you'll also notice that the guys are more, I want to hit it, smash, what is it, Hulk smash about it, rather than the tips and the roll shots and placements. They're going to be more just trying to be power-heavy dominant.
NFA comes in at 2-6 on the year. Putnam at 5-6 and winners of five of their last six, including coming back against Woodstock Academy and Norwich Tech, two teams who had beaten them earlier in the year. So Putnam playing really well. NFA off to a good start here off the serve of Alec Furland. They are up 2-0 in the early going and go to their outside hitter.
Nice split in that block. Oh, it looks like it was out of bounds.
That was Landon Little putting it away, and it's just out, so it'll go to Putnam 2-1, and Putnam will send in Raiden Albino for their first serve of the match. Little work in the center, a little quick center spike, and eventually the point back to NFA.
Looks like Putnam's had quite a few miscommunications of who's going to get that next ball.
Little will go in to serve for NFA. Putnam without 3 or 4 rostered players today, so they are a little thin. We'll see if that comes into effect. That is a little bit long. It'll go back to Putnam. And so we talked at length about, it is rare that a boys sport lags behind a girls sport, because in most of the sports, the girls sports are playing catch up to the boys sports because the girls either they didn't exist or the girls didn't have the same opportunities or equality in a lot of the sports. But however, in girls volleyball on this versus boys on this side of the state, the boys are playing catch up to the girls, because for most of these kids, they had probably not played volleyball prior to coming to high school.
Before tryouts, right. They probably never touched a ball. Maybe if they were lucky, they did a clinic that also allowed boys, but you don't really find that unless you're in another part of the state where they have camps and whatnot.
So, we've seen the skill level of the girls that we've covered in the last few years on the eastern half of the state better and better. The speed, the techniques that we see, sort of the strategies that we see, I want to say the tempo has really increased. You mentioned the boys are often a little boys being boys, right?
Well, I say that, but now they're proving me wrong, actually tipping a ball rather than just trying to smash it through a block.
I think we're going to see that technique is the last thing that comes, right? In the beginning, you're learning literally
just the raw fundamentals. Get the ball over the net when you serve.
I said it looks a lot like, as Brock Nowakowski in to serve for NFA, I said it looks a lot like what you do in gym class. This is
Right.
you know, if you didn't know any better, in some respects, it would be like this is a really good, or maybe an intramural volleyball
Right.
at school, because for these kids, there's no club. So I think for NFA, this was the first year that some of these boys played volleyball outside of the season. And you said that you know, on the other part of the state, going to Glastonbury all the way up into the corner, South Windsor, and then down the shoreline, you know, there's club volleyball as early as 5 years old for anybody who wants to get involved early. Here you're talking about a kid going, yeah, maybe I'll play volleyball.
Right, or an athlete that's already said, oh, I don't have a spring sport, let me figure out what I want to play. Oh, there's volleyball, let's just do that, just to stay in shape and whatnot.
Yeah, now if you're just a kid that wants to play something in the spring, you go play golf. If you know, I'd say if you know, volleyball is definitely going to be one of the faster rising. I think you're going to see a lot more boys getting involved in volleyball because it does combine a lot of the elements from other sports that we like. You know, there's power, there's technique, there's the athleticism, jumping, there's speed. So it'll be interesting to see how many of those winter basketball players start gravitating to spring volleyball on the boys' side.
It's not a bad idea. It's also, like I said, it's awesome to see how much it's grown even since I was in high school. Aging myself now 10 years ago, to see that NFA was the only one around that had a team. And now all of a sudden you were saying Woodstock and Norwich Tech and all of these other more, not local, but more local than what NFA used to have to travel to go and play a game.
Yeah, East Hartford, Shelton, Rockville, South Windsor. You have to go all, you had to go all over the state.
Oh, the great cover on that block.
There's a big hit from Sean Stamp of Putnam. He gives it another try.
Nice
block. That was Hecker for NFA. This good rally here, weak side. They're going to try to set up a middle.
Oh, great spot. Up and over the block. Defender wasn't there.
Landon Little drops it in, and the Wildcats have an early 9-5 lead here. It was Friday where Putnam won a 3-2 close one with Woodstock Academy. Also on Friday, NFA, a competitive 3-2 loss to South Windsor.
Oh,
beautiful
nice
middle
double
block, Stamp and Lowell. And I mean, I don't know, Peter Wappy can weigh in when we get a chance, but I don't know if there are two schools with a bigger student population difference than Putnam and NFA. Putnam is one of, I think, the three smallest schools in the ECC. So when you're looking here at these two schools, don't let records or anything like that come into play, because NFA is the veteran program, and it's one of the biggest schools in the state. Putnam might be doing very well at 5-6, playing well, but they're one of the smallest schools in the state. Anthony Lowell will have the serve for Putnam. Putnam, which won a thrilling JV contest earlier. For those of you interested, the Putnam JV with a resounding 2-game-0 win. Brilliant. 2-0, I should say.
It's actually fun. They just ran a 31, so NFA isn't running just your basic sets either, which is pretty impressive.
Well, again, there should be the more experienced program.
Right. Oh, nice block. Chicken wing! Did you see that chicken wing?
Sails long. Putnam liking that. Getting into it. Caden Gluck with a little flex. Big hits both directions. Power up the middle. But at the end of it all, NFA has their lead cut to 1, and Anthony Lowell will serve again for the Clippers.
Nice deep float serve. Ooh, way to save that. Really low set.
Into the net from Stamp, and
there you go with that technique. So it wasn't the perfect set. You had to take some off and rather just try then hit it straight down. You have to put a roll shot and kind of get up underneath it first, and that's that technique that you're saying that the boys might lack, being able to adjust to the not perfect textbook set.
Furland with the serve for NFA. Up into the rafters. Stamp maintains. Now NFA, a little almost an overpass kill, but it was actually NFA stayed with it because that looked like that was going to come on.
It did. Putnam, it looked like he almost got a touch on it, and he just, if he had pressed a little bit harder and really just thrown that ball down, he would have gotten the block.
So a little run here for NFA gets them back up 3, 11-8. Furlan with the serve.
Nice dig. Setter dub.
Love it.
Sneaky.
Right into the donut. Little timeout. Putnam will talk things over. NFA has rattled off 3 in a row to get the lead up to 4. It's 12-8 here in the early going as we've just underway here at Norwich Free Academy with the NFA Wildcats and the Putnam Clippers in the first ever boys volleyball contest on game day. Game day will be back at it on Wednesday night. We'll be at Dodd Stadium for an ECC baseball matchup between the Montville Wolves and the Killingly High School baseball team right there at Dodd. Always one of the best places to do a baseball game. Of course, you want to tune in tomorrow to all game day social media for the Athletes of the Future Grade 8. I will tell you that there are a lot of baseball, some softball, and some track and field all represented in the Grade 8 tomorrow, and so you want to check that out as game day is fully into spring coverage of high school sports here in Eastern Connecticut.
I know, doesn't it make you want to be outside for this volleyball game?
It did. It did. As I walked from the car to the gym, I thought to myself, why can't we have a little, can't be outside? Right out there on the football field. We could, improvisational volleyball. So we're back in action here. NFA 12-8. They'll have the serve. It'll stay with Alec Furland. He's on a 3-0 run right now for the Wildcats. Furland, jump serve. That one was a rocket up into the rafters. It went,
save. And
Putnam stayed with it. That's well done. That's got to be challenging with that ball way up high like that.
Oh, with a tool.
Little, it's out of bounds, so.
It's got a nice hard serve. Cross court.
Oh, big hit from Brock Nowakowski. Stamp blocked it, but out of bounds. And it's now still with NFA. They're up 6. You know, we talk about in the girls' side of things how the evolution of the athlete in girls volleyball, right? We're seeing, I think, you know, you were representative of, you know, I know you said you dated yourself with 10 years, but I think of you as the prototype, long, athletic body type. We're seeing, you know, your size players sliding to the middle and outside hitters becoming even bigger and longer, which you said happens in college, but now we're seeing in high school where the length is getting more and more and more. So I'll be interested, like I said, in a couple of years to see when those 6'5" basketball players start playing volleyball and we start seeing a little bit more. Because I know when my only men's volleyball experience came from the Olympics, like everybody else. And when I watched Olympic volleyball, all I saw was a bunch of 6'6" guys out there.
Tall, lanky.
Yeah, with winding up and getting incredible height and torque. I got to think that in the next few years, as boys volleyball increases its representation, that we're going to see more of that kind of athlete. You know, the longer, lankier, and we'll see the size. Because right now, NFA prides itself on being small but mighty. They have a commanding lead right now, 16-9. It'll turn it over to Putnam, and Albino will serve.
I mean, it's hard to tell, from up here. But do they even have a single player on the team that's 6 foot?
Probably right at 6 foot. Nice, smart play there from the Wildcats. And Gavin Hecker, he found the empty space and got it right back for the serve. Landon Little to serve. I think the biggest player on either side is probably Ezekiel Torres of NFA, who is, 6'2". I think this young man, Sean Stamp, is probably right at the 5'11", 6-foot mark, but certainly not. There's no 6'4s out there.
No one that you look at and you're like, oh crap, what are they gonna do with this ball?
Yeah. Big block at the net by Putnam. NFA will go right back at it.
Oh, great swing.
And Hecker with a hecker of a spike. Puts it away, and it's NFA.
Yeah, I don't think Putnam was expecting that. That was only the second touch for NFA, and he saw that, hey, it's a tight pass. Let me just slam this over.
I like NFA seizing opportunities when they see open space.
Yeah.
They're, not always falling into a. So 18-11, and Putnam will have a chance to try to cut into this lead. In to serve is Caden Gluck.
You're also saying that Putnam's missing a few players. You see that their middles have to play all the way around, which is something that they're not used to. I'm assuming that Putnam's missing their libero today.
Good block at the net by the Wildcats, going right back weak
Oh,
side.
great block.
And even better on the far side by Putnam, Jamison Prue. And that'll keep the serve with the Clippers.
Oh, scrappy.
Oh, well done by the Clippers, keeping that alive.
Smart on NFA. He thought he would do some street ball and send it over.
Wallace Zhang puts it away for NFA as Abdullahi Mbai was in position but couldn't quite get his hand onto it, and so the serve goes over to Brock Nowakowski and NFA.
Nice float serve. Looks like Putnam's under the net on that one.
So NFA first to crack the 20 barrier. It's 20-12, and Nowakowski will retain the serve. No communication there. A zig and a zag, and they did not communicate who was who. Yep, that's the face. That says that right there.
You just heard one of them yell, communicate, let's go.
Yeah. Good serve from Nowakowski. That was great body control. Great body control on the outside to get that point for NFA. Left hand from Furland. That was really well done. NFA sensing an easy first set win here if they can rattle off a couple more.
Nice pass. Oh.
Sawyer Britt said there's no need to communicate. I'll communicate non-verbally. Big kill, and the serve now to Putnam and Jamison Prue.
Great spot, taking your outside hitter out. That's a great serve. Making Furlan pass the ball before he has to transition out to try and hit it.
It was a big hit by Stolhammer, but
a little flat.
A little bit flat and long.
It's got to snap that wrist and it would go down. It's a great serve.
Very good serve. He has been on fire. Prue has had 3 lightning serves for the Clippers.
And he's serving the position between 5 and 6 on the court, is the position we call it, to make that outside hitter go and have to pass the ball and get a good pass before going to swing. Makes them think a little bit harder.
And I will say one thing that you've commented on that I've also noticed, and maybe it's more of a boy thing, right? The machismo factor of boys. It's like when you start wanting to get a point because you have a little run going on against you, all you think is overpower.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like you saw there.
Hit as hard as I can.
Right, because I mean, that's the only, I need to stop this run. Instead of being smarter,
right,
they want to be stronger.
Which you have to remember, a kill is a kill. If you tip the ball and get the point, it's the same as hitting exactly as hard as you want and hitting it out of bounds.
So Putnam staying alive here. It's 23-17. And they will send Sawyer Britt to serve, trying to stave off this first set. NFA on top. Big hit, just long from Wallace Zhang.
He looked like he was underneath that ball a little bit rather than keeping it in front of him and snapping that wrist to get that roll. But this is where NFA should say, all right, we've hit how many out of bounds? Let me just adjust and just tip the ball. Putnam's just expecting them to hit the ball as hard as they can now.
I think it's a good timeout from NFA because you don't want to see this lead. You know, you're still up 4, lead, but you need to get the serve back. So you want to try to talk this over. And I understand this timeout right here while they do that. So I think to your point, when you're inexperienced and you don't have the institutional knowledge that comes with years and years of reps and scenarios, you go to what's most comfortable.
The wow factor.
And the things that are most comfortable are, you know, hard and fast, right, and, you know, sort of brute force, because it's just it's the straightest point.
It's what you're taught first, how to
right,
hit a ball. You're not
correct,
taught to tip a ball first.
That's right. You know, when a baseball player needs to make a difference, they're thinking, I want to hit it. I want to hit the ball. No one's thinking, you know what, I want to go play second base and make a really good defensive play.
Right.
Or I'm going to base run my way to it. You think of, you know, hit or throw. So volleyball is no different. You know, they go back to their first most comfortable skill, which for most of them is hitting the ball. So this is where take a breath and start being a little smarter, find a way to get
make
that
a
point.
Difference.
That's right.
Which could be defensively also. That was a great timeout on their end, calling a timeout and making them miss that next serve in. But, I mean, you could be on that court and say, all right, I might not be a hitter, but let me get the block.
Jeremy Portillo in with a chance to win the first set for NFA.
It's a good serve. Great set. That was beautiful.
Stamp goes just wide. First set goes to NFA. 24-19. They'll change over, and we'll be right back. You're watching Game Day live on theday.com.
Setter, I think, is one of the hardest positions because you gotta just have really good precision with everything you're doing, because that ball going to your outside, going to your middle, going to your right side, or wherever you're setting it, it has to be set like perfectly for them.
A quality of a good setter, especially with Alec, is that he's very flexible. When it comes to running different offenses and different balls, he hustles like crazy. He tries to go for every ball. He gets along with others and really tries to listen to his other teammates.
It's putting it up for the hitter to shine. I think setters are it's more of a position to let hitters shine. So I think it's definitely a precision thing. You want to make sure everyone has their moment, but being a setter, you also have to be a leader because you're controlling the court, you're controlling the offense. You got to make sure your offense is doing their job just as much as you're doing yours.
So small but mighty, just because we have 12 on varsity, which is a standard team, but they're also a little bit shorter in size compared to what I've had before.
Last year we had a couple of players that were taller. This year, all of our players, except for one, are under 6 foot. So we are a very short team for a volleyball team. We still work hard and we're doing what we can with our height, and I think the competitiveness that we do have makes up for that.
I consider them a little bit smaller but mighty. They're a powerful group. They've played a lot off-season, even some of them off-season together, and they play really well together.
I remember when I started here, there wasn't many wins. It was a lot of losses. And the past couple of years, we've definitely grown the program. A lot of us, we played in the summer, like beach, and then a lot of us have also played club, AAU.
I definitely see it pay off, especially for him and other players that are really committed to volleyball. Like volleyball is their primary sport. So I see a lot of growth where they're learning from different coaches, learning different techniques, and just having more confidence with the ball, no matter what the situation.
Girls volleyball, state champions 2008. So there is a legacy of championship volleyball here at NFA, and the boys are taking it on themselves to be sort of the leaders in eastern Connecticut on the volleyball circuit, certainly in the southern part. Woodstock Academy up north, and Norwich Tech also here in the Norwich area, obviously Norwich Tech, are the three main locals. Putnam adding their name to the mix. It's 24-19, the first set goes to me, 25-19, the first set goes to NFA, and so we will start set number 2. What did you see there, Madison, in the first set from both of these two teams once they kind of got settled in?
To be honest, I thought their blocking on both sides was pretty great. I wasn't expecting to see as many technical blocks, and Putnam did a really good job coming in and double blocking the middle for NFA. Some of the serves from the guys were pretty good. I would say Putnam needs to communicate a little bit more. They got better in the middle of that set. They started out slow. The middle of the set got better, and then towards the end of the set, they started lacking again, communicating with each other. And then NFA's got to maybe take some adjustments if they need to get out of a rut, and hopefully their coach tells them, hey, we don't need to hammer a ball every single time. There's another way to score a point rather than just, what did I say, Hilk smash.
Raiden Albino in for Putnam to start the serving here in the second set, trailing 1-0.
That was a nice little sneak play by NFA. I don't know if you noticed that. So you had your middle hitter running a 31 ball and your outside hitter hitting a 4 ball. So it's a little bit harder. It makes Putnam's blockers both go to the outside, but they think they're going to jump with the middle, and then all of a sudden your outside's the one hitting the ball.
And a service error puts it into the net, right back for Putnam in a 1-1 game, and Stamp will serve for the Clippers.
Nice float serve. Great set. Under the net.
Putnam up 2-1 here in the early going.
Oh, they're saying that Putnam didn't touch that block.
And sailing along, Nowakowski was trying to go cross court. And just long, Putnam up 3-1. Stamp.
Ooh, the net trickle.
Yep, just off the top of the net. Just wide, out of bounds it goes, as Albino tried to drop it in for Putnam. It's 3-2 Putnam, but NFA will serve. They should be like lacrosse, and they should just have volleyballs all over the outside of the floor. So when one goes wide, you just pick up a different volleyball. NFA serving Little. Nice serve, dropped it into no man's land, into that. Ties us up at 3. Junior, Landon Little, will have another serve here for the Wildcats.
NFA having a little bit of fun on their bench, singing the YMCA.
Sawyer Britt gets it back here for Putnam, and into serve will be Abdullah Mbai.
Not a bad idea, just not great execution, but I like the spot.
Mason Stolhammer tried to go across court, but it skimmed the net out of bounds. Stolhammer, of course, how Thor defeated the Frost Giants using the Stolhammer. I wish I had a cool. That's to me, names like I would love that name. Stolhammer. Nope, I got O'Neal. NFA trying to get this thing squared back up again. Good serve. Weak
nice
side.
Back set. That was a strong side. Back set.
Stamp digs.
Back row. That's our first back row attack that we've seen.
Middle hit from the back row by Stamp. So he did a little bit of everything. He dug it and killed it. Now he's going to get the serve. No, because that'd be too good. That'd be too good. That'd be really doing everything. But instead, it's going to be Prue, who we saw at the end of the first game have some real strong serves. I'm told that Sean Stamp is listed at 6'3", so we were saying he was right about the 6 foot mark. 6'3", which I'll buy it because he looks like he is, and he's a great athlete out there, and quite a dancer. 7-4 Putnam. Prue with another chance.
Ooh. Just a little long.
Back over to NFA. A Stamp just missed. Wildcats will send Brock Nowakowski back to serve.
Back jump set, okay.
And the kill from Stolhammer.
That was a nice little rally, though. NFA had some good saves.
Good serve down the line from Nowakowski. And just like that, we're tied at 7, and NFA will continue to send Nowakowski out to serve.
Nice serve.
With double touch.
Wow. That's the first one we've seen them call today.
Sawyer Britt will serve for Putnam. They have an early 8-7 lead here, trailing 1-0.
Kind of like there was a touch. Yep, touch on that block.
Furland get the kill for NFA, ties us up at 8. He'll send it back for the Wildcats. Serve Stolhammer. A stamp of approval from Putnam. Gets it right back with a 9-8 lead.
There's the dad joke.
I've been waiting for a while. I mean, if you haven't figured out yet that all of broadcasting is essentially an opportunity just to dad joke your way through games, it's all I have to look forward to. Robillard with the serve for Putnam.
That and food, duh.
That and food on occasion.
Nice high reach and tip.
And Putnam with a 2-point lead as Robillard will serve again. Kaysen Robillard.
That might have gone out of bounds if NFA hadn't played it.
Good block from Mbai.
Ooh,
Oh,
great
nice
spot.
touch by Little down the line. Good vision, too, to see that that's open.
Yeah. I mean, we haven't seen a lot of that either with either team trying to turn down the line. They just want to hit cross court because that's the strong, like, you don't have to turn your body. That's the strongest hit that you have as an outside hitter, is to just go cross court. Ooh, nice overpass kill. Those are the best.
Gavin Hecker. That's twice now he's done that. So he's obviously paying attention, and that's like that low-hanging fruit.
Mm-hmm. But you have to be ready for it.
Portillo will again serve for NFA. And that one sails wide off of Britt. NFA takes the lead 11-10. It was around this point in the first set where NFA started to go 2 for 1 to take their lead.
Ooh, great set. Oh, look at that dig.
Once again, Hecker from that middle hit position puts NFA up 2. Portillo, beautiful serve.
Oh,
Again on a 2-touch.
yeah.
That's too bad because I liked what they were trying
It was
to do
smart.
there.
It was wide open net.
Putnam will send Albino in to serve.
There's that little trick hit again where the middle fakes out the blockers and the outside hitter goes and hits it.
Little will get credit for the kill as the block went out of bounds. And they'll send Furland in to serve with a 2-point lead.
Good communication on NFA's side, and they're saying setter's out because their setter played defense and took that first ball. So they needed somebody to step in and help set that.
Be interesting to see if a timeout might be forthcoming here. NFA with a 3-point lead. I could say if Furland wins another service point here, you might see a timeout from Putnam. This is right where you start to lose control. You can't make those points up. Mbai into the net. There's the lead increasing for NFA. 15-11, it's a 4-pointer. No timeout yet from Putnam, but you're starting to get to that point.
I think it might be a substitution before a timeout. It's not, they're not playing terrible. They're passing the ball. It's not like they're getting 8. Well,
oh, great job by Stamp. Saved the point there for the Clippers.
Oh, don't reach back. Looks like a little miscommunication on what they were running for a play.
Oh, beautiful hit down the line from Landon Little. Puts NFA up 5, 16-11, and they have seized control of this second set.
There's the timeout.
And there's the timeout, Putnam. So while we have a timeout here, we'll take a quick break. It is 16-11 NFA, second set, already up 1-0. You're watching Game Day live on theday.com.
Communities that are no longer covered by local newspapers become news deserts that lack journalists providing government oversight and access to quality information. The Day is committed to providing comprehensive news coverage in every town in southeastern Connecticut, but we've had to scale back coverage in some towns, including Ledyard and North Stonington, due to market forces affecting local news companies around the country. We need the continued support of the communities we serve to help fund additional staffing that enables us to provide the kind of coverage our readers expect in every town in the region. If you'd like to support the Day's News Desert Fund, please visit givebutter.com/theday.
(16-11) NFA trying to further take control of this second set, already up 1-0. And it's been Alec Furland on a nice little service run for the Wildcats.
Ooh. Whoa. Putnam saved by NFA. That ball was definitely going out of bounds.
Stamp puts that one away for Putnam and gets the serve back. They needed to break the service run of NFA, and they do.
Here you go. The player that gets the kill
gets the serve, see? Only issue with Stamp serving is, and we've seen him hit from the back row, but it takes him away from where he's most effective.
No touch on that block. Looks like it hit the top of the tape.
So Stamp will have it again. Mishits that one, gives it back to NFA. Into serve for the Wildcats will be Landon Little.
Ooh.
Big serve, but long. Powerful, but ineffective as Little got a little too big. And now Mbai will have a serve for Putnam. Putnam cannot afford to trade points here. They need to try to get a couple back on this serve. That's not the way to do it, as it just sails wide, NFA 18. Now this is where, if NFA can get a serve or two, they can really seize control.
Right.
So the serve will go to Gavin Hecker.
Smart play.
Sawyer Britt gets it back, and now just the man you want to see serving if you're Putnam. Jamison Prue has been very effective on the serves thus far. And of course,
I think you jinxed him.
I just gave him the super duper jinx. Back over to NFA 19-15. And Nowakowski will serve. And a beautiful ace from Nowakowski gets NFA to 20. And they are officially now at a point where they would be happy to trade points. Go 1-for-1 straight through the second set victory.
Yeah, this is a rotation that if, okay, Putnam says, all right, let's push you back and have them look at a little bit of a different lineup to serve. It's a good pass. Ooh, that ceiling. Way to save it, though. That came down fast from the rafters.
Just wide from Stolhammer, and it will go back to Putnam, and the serve will go to Sawyer Britt.
That was a smart play on the Putnam's coach. They had one of their players pull back and just give the server somebody else to look at, and that can kind of just change how a serve goes. Great up. Oh, that's a great up off the head.
Stolhammer.
Did you see him split that block? That was a beautiful hit in between the two blockers. Prue took it off the head.
Big serve coming here. 21-16. Every point. Oh, that's good sportsmanship right there. As
A little embarrassing though, too.
Prue took it off the side of the dome, but that's what you do. And I mean, that's the downside of volleyball.
But hey, I'll tell him that was awesome on his part because defensively he was standing in the right spot.
That's
He's
right.
supposed to cover that hole when the blockers don't close completely, and he was there. He just didn't have his hands up.
Who amongst us doesn't have a Spalding or a Wilson mark? NFA sensing it here as they are now up 22-16. 3 more and they'll go up 2-0. Good serve. Putnam will get it back though. Putnam will send Anthony Lowell back to serve. Now he puts it down and leaves the game, so someone else will serve. Who will that be?
It's like Case and Robillard.
They're going to sub in Cason Robillard. He'll go for the serve. Big one here. They have to try to get this thing to 22-20.
Ooh, NFA out of rotation. Who is standing in the wrong spot?
Well, that's a gift point. 22-18.
I'm not sure who was out of rotation.
Big break as Littles.
The tape bounce actually helped him in this case. Usually it rolls out of bounds, but
It took the steam off, spun it sideways, and found empty court. 23-18. And Portillo 2 serves away from a second set victory.
nice free ball spot. Sneaky.
And
Oh, they called a touch.
deflection, a touch there off Little with the kill. So NFA here, 1 point away. Portillo.
Nice set. There's our first back row attack for NFA.
And it sails long. 24-19. Putnam needs a little run here to keep this thing alive, and Albino will serve. Raiden Albino, senior. Stamp with a block. I think the net
I think the
more
net
than
blocked
anything
it,
else.
yeah. But this is a pretty good lineup for Putnam. You've got your setter back row, so you've got 3 options in the front row for hitting wise. Blocking, nice job.
Well done by Prue, and 24-20. So Putnam has gotten a couple of points. They can find a way to get 4 more or 3 more. It's 24-21.
Just a nice consistent serve too.
But there it is
Tool.
as Little puts it away. 25-21. Putnam got a little closer, but it's 2-0. NFA. We'll be back with the third set after this. You're watching Game Day live on theday.com.
It's time for the Athletes of the Future Grade 8 Plays of the Week. At number 8, Norwich Tech's John Masterakis. Don't try to run on Big John. The laser to second base, no chance. At number 7, Sophia Gavea, Wheeler Lacrosse. 200 career goals, including this one. That ties Ledyard. They go on to win 12-11. At number 6, Wheeler Softballs, Morgan Perkins with the dot. Right back up the middle, drives in 3. Broke the game open, put Wheeler up 9-5. They would go on to win. At number 5, Gabe Haney, East Lyme Lacrosse with a little razzle-dazzle. Get the pass, and between the legs, oh, didn't even see that one, did you? At number 4, Montville Lacrosse's Chris Bacchus. This is how you become the all-time career points leader. You just backhanded goal while falling to the ground. Congratulations, Chris. At number 3, East Lyme Lacrosse's Johnny Wewell. Between the pipes, stops that one down low, stops that one up high. Now he's going to outlet to Greg Page. Page is going to go on to tie the game. East Lyme goes on to win the game in a great one against Bacon. At number 2, smartest guy in the ECC, Matt Champagne, from his, backside. Oh, what a play. He got him. But at number 1, my guy, Joel Barros, NFA track. He doesn't just do the high jump. He jumps high, 6'7". That's number 1 in the ECC, number 1 in the state, and that gets you a free week of training at Athletes of the Future. Send us your best plays. Maybe you can make next week's Grade 8.
NFA with a 2-0 lead. They won the first 25-19. They won the second 25-21. And if they can find a way to win this third one, they'll complete a sweep over the Putnam Clippers, who are going to try to find a way. Now, interestingly enough, each of Putnam's last 3 contests have gone 5 sets. They found a way to beat HMTCA 3-2. They lost to SMSA Buckley 3-2, and they beat Woodstock Academy 3-2. So Putnam, no stranger to the 3-2s. NFA has only had only 3-2 once, and it was a loss to South Windsor on Friday. Interestingly, Putnam lost their first 5 matches of the season and only won one set in the first 5. They lost 1-3 and then were shut out in 4 consecutive games. And then they went on this winning streak. So it
sounds like they're just slow starters.
Well, it could be someone injured to start the season. It could be, a lot of new players where that people literally didn't know what they were doing. But Putnam has been playing really good, and NFA on the other side, they have lost 4 in a row, but it feels like they're they're in a good place right now. I feel like they're playing really well. But if you look at who they lost to, 3-0 to Woodstock and 3-1 to Norwich Tech, both of whom Putnam recently just beat. So it's.
But you're also looking, like you said earlier, NFA is at full strength. Putnam's missing 4 players today. So not sure if there's some of their starters, but it does look like they're the upperclassmen, 2 seniors, a junior, and a freshman.
So starting the serve here in the third set will be Alec Furland.
Nice back set.
Big kill from Nowakowski. 1-0 NFA. Now, in baseball, football, lots of other sports, when you have a chance to shut an opponent out, you go all in. In baseball, you go nuts trying to get that shutout. In football, same thing. Mm-hmm. Is this now that they're up 2-0? Is this the opposite, where you get a lull sometimes and take your foot off the gas, or do you want to get this thing 3-0 and out of here?
I mean, ideally, you always want that 3-0 and out of here, and you always say that to your team going into it. But volleyball is such a game of momentum that sometimes, even if you let your foot off the gas just for a few points, that momentum switch can really just bring the other team up, and then next thing you know, you're going to a fourth set, a fifth set.
Now, conversely, NFA up 2-0. What would a fast start mean? You know, at what point does Putnam almost psychologically go in the other direction, and this thing becomes 15-0 before you look up?
I think it really depends on the mental toughness of the team itself, too. I mean, if these kids are some that just don't quit, just keep going, what is it, no quit New York? They'll just keep going, and you can really get back to anything if you try hard enough. I mean, maybe if it's like 20-0, that's where you kind of say, okay, is it really possible for them to give up that amount of points? But, you know, stranger things have happened.
Well, it will not be 20-0 as NFA hit that one long, and Putnam's Raiden Albino will serve down 3-1. Oh, nice little net skimmage.
Oh, great cover.
Nowakowski.
Going to call that a carry.
Yeah, Nowakowski with a big hit, and then
he had his hand open on that cover of his own block.
Smart play.
That's yours.
Nice touch. Little dropped it in. He'll go back for the serve.
Robillard's pointing to himself like, oh, that was mine. Unfortunately, Putnam's kind of still a little out of it as far as knowing who's taking what ball.
Well, without knowing the impact and a big break for NFA, that was...
Oh! Great block by Mumbai.
Hecker, who we've seen do 2 overpass kills already, tried for a third, but Putnam was waiting for it. Nowakowski with the big hit. Little. What a serve from Little.
Just a little deep.
Just long, but that was hammered. So without knowing the impact of the players not available for Putnam today, I mean, could you imagine taking some of the players that we've seen on the girls' side and knowing how much their communication and impact matters? I mean, it could be a significant, if not, you know,
absolutely,
communicator, if nothing else. It's not even necessarily the impact of the play as much as, you know, what if it's their communicator.
Right, and also just thinking, like, if this isn't their normal starting lineup, in practice, you're not practicing next to other people. You practice your starting lineup. So if you're all of a sudden playing next to somebody that you've never, I shouldn't say never, but like very rarely play and pass a ball next to, it can be very different that way too.
5-4 NFA, and Mbai will serve for Putnam.
Nice back set, great swing.
Go right back to him again. That time it was just outside of Nowakowski's range, and we're tied at 5.
That was a nice quick set.
Stolhammer on the far side, able to put that one off the net. It drops in, and it gives NFA the lead, and they'll send Hecker back to serve.
adjust to that set. I hear him scream and shoot.
And off the side of Hecker's hand, trying to go down the line, and he just mishit it, and it went wide.
Yeah, and with the speed, he's calling a shoot. That's the fastest outside set that there is. There's not really much time to adjust and try and fix it.
Prue to serve for Putnam.
Nice serve.
Now we saw him come up big. That's a good serve. Putnam with a 7-6 lead. It's been right around the 10-point mark that NFA has started to separate in each of the first two sets. Here we are at 7-all with Nowakowski going back to serve for NFA. Big strike there from Hecker. And again, this is right at the point in each of the last couple of sets that NFA has started to
pick it up,
pull away, get themselves to like a 4-point lead, and then kind of just cruise the rest of the way.
Oh, great adjustment.
Oh, great job by NFA keeping it alive. Double hit there or a carry. What's that when you get under it, don't actually hit it, when you almost carry it?
What is it?
Yeah, what's that called?
What, you're calling it a carry. You threw me out. Like it's just a pass?
Yeah. No, he hit it over the net, but he hit it and he kind of almost.
It's basically just an overhand pass over the net. I mean, it's usually you don't use two hands when you go to attack because you can get called on that double contact that we've seen.
Which is what they got called for there. Now here's what we were talking about. NFA right at that 10-point mark. They're up 4. And this is where we've seen Putnam have to take timeouts in each of the previous 2 sets.
See, so like that, you're saying it was smart for Sawyer Britt to just go with one hand because he's not going to get called on a double contact, whereas if you go a push, that's what's the word.
Push, there it is.
I had to see.
It had to act it out.
Yeah, I did. Isn't that awful?
If you had a ball, I would have been in trouble. I'm just telling you that.
But a push is a little more dangerous because if it has any of that spin, you're going to get called on a double.
Putnam a little out of sorts right now. NFA trying to take advantage.
Nice set.
And it sails over onto the NFA side, stays there. Putnam will get a chance now. 12-8. And Britt will serve.
Looks like there's a little bit of a net contact there that didn't get called. Oh! Great blocks on the Putnam side. Look at a little tomahawk. We like a tomahawk steak, right?
Absolutely. I like any steak.
I think that's a new term that we've never said.
No,
I don't
that's
think
our
we've ever
first
seen
tomahawk.
a girl.
Our first tomahawk. I love it. Add it to the list. CJ Sadie and I during wrestling have a list of terminology, and we've said if we keep using it the next year, we have to bring it. So like, there's bear claws and jelly rolls. Now we got a tomahawk.
Those are cheap though. Tomahawks aren't cheap.
Well, you've said it. So now the next time we do volleyball.
How many donuts do you owe me?
I owe you a lot of donuts. I definitely owe you a lot of donuts. But I'll take the 1 tomahawk. I'll bring you the 3 dozen donuts. You bring me the 1 tomahawk.
That's about equal. Flanders donuts is about $15 a dozen.
Oh, you're not getting Flanders donuts. I mean,
Excuse me? Flanders donuts are the best.
Well, if Flanders Donuts would like to contact Game Day and work out a promotion for the donuts, I mean, we can do that. I mean, don't get me wrong. But otherwise, you're getting generic.
So where am I going? Salem
donuts.
Prime Cuts. Let's see if I can get them to contact.
That's right.
And get me a tomahawk for Game Day.
13-8 NFA. This is, I mean, it's been almost eerie how similar each of the 3 sets have been. The 2 teams have gone back and forth to about the 8-10 mark. And then NFA has gone on a run, gotten up 4 or 5. Putnam has called a timeout. And then it's just been a question of how far NFA can get it, keeping it at between 4 and 5.
Right.
You know, when they get that, they've been first 20 both times with a 4-point lead. So, you know, Putnam just hasn't been able to catch up.
Yeah, I would say Putnam offensively is lacking a little bit more than NFA. Just long on that outside attack. But Putnam, I would say, is very equal as far as serve receive. They're passing the ball well, they're digging well, they're scrappy, they can block. It just seems offensively they're not able to get into that rhythm of hitting the ball hard or through a block.
Robillard to serve for the Clippers.
Ooh, a lefty.
Wallace Zeng gets it right back for NFA. And Portillo will serve. NFA up 5, trying to pitch the shutout here over Putnam.
Oh, a slide. We haven't seen one of those yet.
Hecker put that one away for the Wildcats. NFA sensing a little something right now. They're on a roll, up 15-9.
That was a nice hit. And that's one of those where if we see an evolution of boys volleyball and see that basketball players start playing the middle position, you'll see a lot more back sets to that slide because it's kind of like a layup. You run, 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 and you jump off of one leg and swing around.
Our first look at Sam Jackal for Putnam. He's in the ball game now, number 10, the freshman. Getting some good varsity experience here, and Portillo will serve. 7-point lead for NFA. Time running out on the Clippers.
In the rafters. Great block.
Good rally. Jackal.
Quick set. Ooh, and it's in.
Right down the line from Prue. Jamison Prue will get the serve back to Putnam. So into serve for Putnam will be Albino. Nice touch from Little as he got up high and dropped that one in to get it back to NFA, up 17-10.
Where did he drop it into?
The donut.
Oh, that's another one.
Furland. Bermuda Triangle is next. I don't have to worry about that. Ezekiel Torres.
You can also call it a campfire.
Campfire? I'm not bringing one of those to the next game either.
I was going to say, yeah, you can bring the thing that you make your roast over a campfire.
Tomahawk steaks. That's what I roast over a campfire. That one sails wide, NFA. Big lead now, 18-10. As they're trying to cruise to a 3-0 victory. Furlan. Big serve.
We call that a penguin dive. You want to bring a penguin?
Little smashes that one home for NFA. I already do the penguin plunge.
I did watch that video.
It was so cold.
And I heard you're trying to get all of the game day commentators in on it.
Next year, you're on board.
I think I retire after this game.
You are on board. First to 20, NFA 5 away from a 3-0 shutout over Putnam. Oh yeah, no, I'm getting all of them. I'm getting everybody. You're included. And
it's been nice knowing you.
Peter Wappy says he's in, and Mike DeMoro says he's in if he gets to wear a wetsuit. So
we'll call him the Seal then. Can I do it at Mystic Aquarium?
Listen, the year before, it was like 60 degrees. It was only this year where the gentleman says the air temperature is 25, the water temperature is 35, the wind chill is 5, so get in and get out.
No, it's you want to get in and not get out because it feels warmer than the air.
Yeah, and then you die, so we don't want to do that. Putnam as Jackal got the serve, and he'll get it back. As they're just going to try to go on a little run and see if they can make this thing a little tighter.
Oh, nice swing. Great cover. That was a great save on NFA's part. He wants to smash that.
Great rally here either way.
Under the net.
So
That was
NFA
a
gets it
great
back
rally.
after a great rally. Both teams really going at it. And Little, of course, at the end of this, you're going to want to tune into all of our social media to find out the Roberto's Log Cabin Player of the Game Day, as well as an interview with the winning coach. And NFA 3 away from a shutout victory. Little, good serve.
Ooh,
And a
nice
big block. Ezekiel Torres, that's why he's there, the big guy. All smiles to NFA, 2 away, it's 23-12.
Nice float serve.
Torres,
laughing at himself.
his eyes lit up though. He wanted all of that. Jacob Sikorsky into the game for NFA as well. And serving for Putnam will be nice jump it. And off the side of the net by Sikorsky. It'll stay with Putnam. They wanted Torres to let that one fly.
They're just going to keep setting him until he does. Got to go a little deeper on that.
Oh, they wanted double block, but it stays on the NFA side, so Putnam will have the serve. Staying here at 23-15.
Nice deep serve. Oh, out of bounds.
You know, NFA wants so bad to rip this thing and finish it. They got to just try to get this thing back in a quick timeout. So we'll take one last timeout. 23-16 NFA trying to close this out. You're watching Game Day live on theday.com.
Here at Game Day, we're proud to bring you unrivaled video coverage of local high school sports, all of it free for you to watch. These videos are not free for us to produce though. If you'd like to ensure that we can keep covering your school and your teams, there's a few ways that you can support us. Hit up our merch store and pick up some game day gear in your school colors. Our camera operators are always looking for those shirts and hoodies in the crowd, and you may see yourself on our next live stream. We get a lot of support from businesses in our community, and if you'd like to join them as a sponsor, send us a message and we can connect you with our advertising staff. Finally, The Day is the organization behind everything we do here at Game Day. If you want to support The Day's community journalism, consider a print or digital subscription at theday.com/subscribe.
(23-16) NFA trying to close this one out. And there's the big kill, Ezekiel Torres. They wanted him to get one, he did. And it sends Hecker back with a chance to end it here for NFA. So Prue will serve.
Could be dangerous. This is a pretty good lineup for Putnam. He's got a good serve if he keeps it consistent.
Oh, nice job there. Anthony Lowell gets the kill. Putnam stays alive. Not the way you want it to end, but end it will. 25-18 in the final set, so a 3-0 win for NFA at home. 25-19, 25-21, and 25-18 as they shut out Putnam. 3-0 in the inaugural or debut of boys volleyball here on Game Day. At the end of this, you're going to want to go to our social medias for the Roberto's Log Cabin Player of the Game Day, as well as an interview with the NFA head coach. Madison, thank you very much for walking us through Volleyball 101 for the boys. First time we've done that. Did it live up to what you were hoping for?
Honestly, I'm a little more impressed. I wasn't expecting it to be as fast-paced, so kudos to Southeast Connecticut Volleyball for stepping it up from back when I was in high school. I wasn't expecting it to be as fast.
Join us Wednesday night from Dodd Stadium, 7 o'clock, Montville and Killingly. It's time for baseball. But here from NFA, one last time, you've been watching Game Day live on Day.com. Good night, everyone. Tonight's player of the game is brought to you by Roberto's Log Cabin Restaurant. Nestled in the woods of Lebanon, Connecticut, Roberto's Log Cabin is the cozy rustic home of comfort food. Family owned and operated, The Cabin, as it's fondly known, offers a diverse menu of hearty fare from burgers to the best ribs in the state. So come check out the Hallway of History and the newly renovated tavern, sample the diverse menu, get your craft beers and cocktails, all while watching your favorite sports on one of their 10 TVs. Stop in, see Rob and the crew, and tell them Game Day sent you. Player of the game by Roberto's Log Cabin Restaurant.